Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Welcome Amanda Vickers to the Beach FM General Election Show. Amanda, you're from the Social Credit Party. In fact, you are the Deputy Leader.
Yes, I am.
You're standing in the Otaki electorate. You're married with 2 teenage children, currently living in Waikanai. Where did you grow up?
So, I was born in Dunedin and I was there for 12 years, but ever since then, our family and extended family has lived on the Kapiti Coast.
Oh, nice.
Yes, so that's 37 years, minus the years, of course, of university and OEs, but I came back and I'm still here.
Oh, fantastic. So tell me a little bit about that professional background that you mentioned there before. You're overseas. What is it that you do for?
So I trained in physiology and got a first class in physiology, but then I went on and did a veterinary science degree. So when I went on my OE, I was working as a veterinary surgeon.
Okay.
And came back here and continued with that sort of mostly part-time when I had the children. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And so you worked in the UK for the Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, I've read.
Some of the work I did, yes.
But that was helping to eradicate swine fever and foot and mouth disease, is that right?
Yes. And so I often find myself making mental comparisons with this COVID about, contact tracing and approaches. So it's quite interesting to see it being done for people now, really. But, yeah, that was a huge undertaking and we got there in the end.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we do too, sooner rather than later. So, but did that also provide you with an understanding of how governments work? So if you're obviously seeing, COVID unravel, or depending on how you look at it, I suppose, working or not working, did this also fuel your desire, or how did it fuel your desire to become a politician?
Working for foot and mouth eradication did not fuel my desire to become a politician by any means. But it was looking at how government departments work under emergency situations, and they had their own challenges to overcome. My desire, it's not so much, Catherine, a desire to be a politician per se. It's the desire to make the necessary changes that aren't being looked at or addressed. Sure. And they so desperately need to be done. And once you kind of know what's wrong and know what's not being done, you can't unknow that. And it's sort of like this responsibility to stand up and say, hang on, this is the path we need to go down for the future generations. So that's sort of what brought me here.
And can you give me an example of what you mean by that? What changes that you think need to be changed? Yeah,
well, it was sort of an evolution within myself, really. It started off looking at peak oil and getting concerned about that and thinking that was going to be the ultimate problem, and then you sort of end up going down this bit of a rabbit hole about all our problems and what's causing them, and I came out at the monetary system is what's underlying it. Right. And so then I started sort of looking into the way the banks operate and the way that's not well known, and you just sort of go down a path. Like I've been very involved with Positive Money, which is an apolitical New Zealand organisation, wanting to move that sort of issue, and obviously naturally ended up at Social Credit, which is our basic fundamental tenet to change the way money operates.
Sure. So the party has been around for a while. It's changed its name around a little bit over the years and may have lost a bit of momentum. So only receiving about 800 or so votes in 2017. How's the party going about claiming back some of those previous votes?
Yeah, well, I mean, the party did go into a little bit of hiatus for a number of years, and I think they were called the Democrats for Social Credit. We have reclaimed our name back, and by the way, it has nothing to do with the Chinese social credit system, just to make that perfectly clear. We're the antithesis of that. Yeah. So we've changed our name back to our original name, but really what's given us the rejuvenation to become really active again and start growing again has been the economic situation we're finding ourselves in, and then COVID came along, and that is absolutely cannot be managed without damaging us unless we have a public money system, not a private money system. So it's just grown organically because of all of this, and I think really now's our time. We're having a comeback, and we're hoping it's big enough to actually make that change that's needed.
So you think that COVID maybe in a way has helped your cause a little bit with the way that money is being used?
Yeah, but it's not about our cause. It's about doing the best thing for New Zealand. Yes, I guess it's a silver lining, because if people can see the way it's been done wrong by lending all of our money supply from banks and start using the country's own bank, there would be a huge benefit to all New Zealanders, whether or not we had a COVID crisis. But the fact we're having a COVID crisis has brought attention from people, but also a lot of mainstream economists and commentators who are now saying we need to look at this and there's no reason we can't do it, and in fact this is what should be done. So it's not just us as a party, as a general conversation, and that's actually worldwide as well.
So what issues does the party see aside from that as the top priority for the country, and what's your vision, I guess specifically more for Otaki, as that's where you're being you're represented? What would you want to see changed, I guess, locally and nationally? And how would you go about maybe the Social Credit Party going about fixing those issues, do you think?
Yeah, well, nationally, obviously, we've got serious problems entrenched, and it's the system that's causing them. And to my mind, some of them are caused from the monetary system and some of them are policy-based. But in terms of the monetary system, the debt, basically the national debt, $200 billion by 2024, borrowed by the government from the private banks. Now our children and grandchildren will be repaying that out of our taxes, which is money coming out of the productive economy going forward, and that's going to be a massive burden. And it means that we're not able to tackle problems such as inequality, of which New Zealand does not score well with in terms of OECD measures, and poverty and infrastructure. I mean, DHBs are underfunded. I mean, the list goes on. We are not on the right trajectory, Catherine.
Okay.
Yeah. And those problems will be reflected locally as well. So it's sort of like you think local, act nationally sort of thing, or vice versa.
Sure.
It's not just one looking at one pocket. It's a national issue.
Yeah. Well, I've got some really tough questions for you now, Amanda. This is to get you ready for the, government for politics. So you ready for these tough questions I've got for you?
Absolutely. All
right. So just answer what comes first to mind, if you don't mind, Amanda. Would you rather eat sweet or savoury?
I'm a sweet tooth.
Sweet tooth? Would you rather be hot or cold?
Hot.
Beach or forest?
Beach.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Cat or dog? Oh, that's hard. I'm asking a vet that question.
No, I used to be a dog person. I'm actually now a cat person.
Oh,
yeah.
I was the other way. I was always
really?
Dog, yeah, and then, I was always cat, now I'm dog mad.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Classical or rock?
Rock.
So that's just us trying to get to know the person a little bit more. Thank you, Amanda.
Okay.
That was lovely. Thank you very much for your time today, and good luck with everything going forward.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Appreciate that.
106.3 Beach FM.